We are live. Let me turn up this volume and make sure that we can all hear. Welcome, everyone, to a lovely. Wait, today's Thursday. Holy macaroni. It is. Whew, it's a good day. You see that title? Sit down and hush. That title is really important. Okay? That title is very important for us to sit down and hush. Now, I'm not trying to be smart and sassy with that, but it'll help you to remember what you're doing. You see, when you sit down and hush, you understand. What are you doing? When you sit still, when you practice this, sitting still or laying still, set a timer. Just in case if you're like me and you tend to fall asleep, can sleep anywhere, chat, anywhere. So I set a timer. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever works for you. But lay there and breathe. You inhale and exhale through the nose. And you can keep your focus there, or you can put your focus on I am. But the reason why I'm telling you that this is important is because in that stillness, in that silence, you will know much. You will hear much. You will see much. You will touch much. Why? Because when you are in that silent space, the world and its problems fall away from you. You see, because when you tell somebody to relax, right? If you watch humanity, they're in a state of relaxed tension. They're tense. But if you get into the habit, law of rhythm, if you get into the habit of sitting still or laying still for a designated amount of time with a purpose, what is your purpose when you sit there or lay there? Your purpose is simply to feel. That's what you're doing. You are feeling. You're not doing anything else other than feeling. Feeling what? You. When you lay there or sit there and you simply breathe, or you focus on I am, every time you inhale, I, exhale, am, over and over and over again, all I can tell you is that something will happen to you. Something good. Something good is going to happen. Something good is in store, right? All I can tell you is that something good will happen to you because you will know it when you do it. So I'm trying to arouse your curiosity this morning so that you will begin to form a pattern, a rhythm in your life where you will take, not ask for time, but take it. You take command of your day. You take command of yourself and you say, hey, I'm going to sit in this stillness. I'm going to lay in this stillness because I want to know what's going to happen. Right? Because something is going to happen, but something phenomenally beautiful will happen to you. And so when you do it, you will find, I can only give you hearsay at the moment and know what happens for me, but I have to do it more and more and more. The hearsay is this: when you do it, right? You see all those questions that you have? You may not even have voiced those questions, but you see those questions, you see those concerns that you have, they will solve themselves. Why? Because you are putting yourself right next to the answer. That's what you're doing. You are actually practicing stillness. Because sometimes we say, man, I can't sit still. I can't even quiet my brain. There is no time like the present to practice. You will gain so many ideas from this place. You will learn to relinquish things that hold you back and hold you down when you are in this place. You see, the reason you go there is to make your life simpler and easier to manage. We keep talking about these inner children that we have, these uh, shadow selves that we have. You go there to that place. You sit down and you hush. You go there, you're gonna discover that all of the things that weigh you down will fall away from you. But you'll also notice something else. You'll notice when you pick them up. You know how I used to hear as a child that, you, you know how elders in the church talk. Oh, look at this sister. She comes to church and she leaves that devil on the front step. Child, and when she leaves church, she picks that devil up again. That's what we do. We pick up these old things that we used to do, right? We go into that quiet place, and when we come out, we pick up the same trash again. But you will learn. The longer and more time you spend in that silent space, when you see trash, you will sidestep it and say, not today. That's not for me. Why? Because it will feel good to you to be in a state of inner peace. That you will get to the point that you will say, nothing disturbs my inner peace. But you have to get there. That's why the practice is critical and crucial. It is for your own benefit. Because another thing you'll realize is you'll walk down the street and sometimes triggers, right? Somebody trying to polarize you. Listen, before they even open their mouths, before you even finish seeing the thing that's being flashed and projected to you, before that is even finished, you will go, no, not today. You know why you'll go, no? Because you will feel the vibration of it. Because it's moving, it's coming towards you, it's moving. And you will feel it and you will say, no. Why? Because it does not feel like inner peace. And because it doesn't feel like inner peace, and that's what you want, you will reject it. And what would you have done? Literally speaking, you will have neutralized rhythm. Well, that's a fancy word, Angela. Well, how do you neutralize rhythm? You see, the swing of the pendulum always is happening. But when you change your polarity, because that's what you do, you put yourself in a different direction to the old rhythm, you have now risen above it so that the rhythm will pass beneath you. And whatever nonsense has to happen beneath you, you are not affected by it. You will not be affected by it because you'll be able to see it. And you can be like Neo and go, ooh, let me bend, let me move, let me rise above. What will you be doing? You'll be using a higher law. You'll be using a higher law to prevent yourself from bearing the brunt of that swing of the pendulum. That's what you're actually doing. That is what you are actually doing. You will gain the ability to see from a distance what is good, what is bad, what is indifferent. And I'm not talking good and bad in the fact of judgment. I'm talking good and bad according to when you go into that silent space, you will be able to see what is harmful to you before you come upon it. And you will prevent yourself from having to go through what can tear you down, because you can see it and you'll go, that's not for me. So now you are magnifying the fact that you are in the world, but not of it. When the others are tossed to and fro by the currents of life, you are watching it from above. Why? Because you are in control of the tide now. You now become the cause instead of being moved by an external cause. All of those things stem from sitting and hushing. This is what you'll be doing for yourself. Now, I trust that I have stroked your curiosity enough that you would say, wait, I can get all those things and more? Well, let me see how this thing works. Let me test it for myself. Because as I said, right now, I can only tell you what to expect. But the only way for you to grasp it, to comprehend it, is to do it. And that's why I say, even if you think you have a problem, like the little girl in the story we read, in the lecture we read last night, who had an itch that she just had to scratch, even if you think that you fidget too much, when you practice the art of sitting in the silence, you are training your body to be still. Because it's like ants at a picnic, you understand? As soon as you lay that beautiful spread and put the food down, the ants are like, you smell that? Let's go investigate. But sooner rather than later, the ants will dissipate, meaning what? The things that used to distract you, oh, I got to scratch. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, did I do that? Oh, all of those thoughts that used to plague you and you wanted to sit still before, the more you practice sitting still and hushing, or laying still and hushing, will seed. They will reseed. They will stop bothering you. And you will begin to marvel at yourself. You're like, wait, I'm doing it. And when that timer goes off, you're like, wait, it's done already? And you'll say, okay, I'm going to practice again. Just give me 5 more minutes. And you reset the timer and you do it again. And I tell you, when you start taking command of your body, yesterday's scripture was, slaves, obey your master. You know why that is psychological? Because your body is your servant. Your body does what you request of it. And how do you request something of your body? You do it, and you do it, and you do it until the body complies. How do you know that the body has complied? It will do it as if it had always done it. It will become its second nature because it follows the first nature. What is that? I am. So today, let us not take for granted sitting and hushing. And sometimes, because I remember a special someone who's in two places every morning said to me, every time I want to sit down and do the bowl, something disrupts it. I would like to venture to speculate that doesn't happen anymore. Or if it still happens, it happens way less than it used to. You know who I'm talking to. I'm looking at you right now. I'm not going to call you out your name, but you know, and I know you know, right? But that's the thing with the practice. When you train your body, you see, for those of you who go to the gym, sometimes we think it's our bodies we're taking to the gym. No, in order for you to go to the gym, it is your mind that you have to get in the right place. Because you'll notice, if you're doing a particular amount of sets for something, however many reps you're doing, if you lose focus, watch and see how quick it is for you to hurt yourself. Why? Because the focus, the attention of the mind has been distracted. So when you go to the gym, your body simply complies with the directive from your mind. So your slave, obey your master. Your body is obeying who? I am. So it obeys the directive that it has been given. Sometimes, because it just popped into my head. I don't know if you've seen the movie Wally. Wally, right? She's trying to introduce herself to Wally, Eva, and she wants to know what he does. So she looks at him and she goes, "Directive? Directive?" She's asking, "What is your job?" So your body now, it waits and it says, "Directive? Tell me what to do." That's what your body is doing. It's saying, "Tell me what to do." But instead of telling our bodies what to do, we allow our bodies to act of its own volition. Why and what will it do? It will do the thing that is most familiar to it, habit. That's why that subconscious is always at work, regulating your blood pressure, regulating your breathing. But how and why? It regulates the breathing, but let somebody get you riled up and that breathing will change. Cortisol will be excreted depending on how you take the confrontation. Adrenaline, depending on how you take the confrontation. You see, the body always responds. It takes its cue from you, from I am. This is why you train the body. Train up a child in the way it should go, and it will not depart from it. You're training your body in the way you want it to go so that it will do what it will wait for your directive. But that directive comes as a split second. That is why you sit still and you hush so that you can hear the still small voice, but more importantly, feel. Aww. Okay, you're in the crate. You're okay, girl. You're okay. You're in it. You're all right. Good girl. Whew. I can feel the breeze from her wings. Anyway, I trust that that makes sense for you this morning and that you are sufficiently intrigued that you will want to start. Set your timer. If you say, "Angela, but you know what? My attention span is like a cricket," you know? You're like a cricket and you can only handle 30 seconds. Do 30 seconds on the timer. Do 30 seconds. And you will say, "Wait, it's done already." And something happens when you set the timer. You try, I promise you try to predict when that time is up. And that's when you'll know that the mind is somewhere else because you're like, "Okay, are we done yet? Are we done yet?" And you try and predict when the timer will go off. That's how it starts out. But then you will find this is how you know you are progressing. This is how you will know that the focus is moving from the outside towards the inside. Because you will go from trying to predict when the timer will go off and you will move to, "Oh, wait, it's done already." You see, you moved from the outside stimulus and you got to the inside. But that's only the first layer. And you will find that the more you do it, the deeper you get. Why? Because you're drawing close to you. What scripture tell you? Draw near to me and I will draw near to you. That.
You know what?
Go ahead.
People underestimate how much they think. The addiction to thinking. You know, I heard Eckhart Tolle talk about this before. Whereas we talk about a lot of addictions, but thinking is the number one. We're always having that internal conversation. So when you just for 30 seconds allow your mind to be at peace and to rest in I am vibration, it really calms and recenters you to your first nature. Whereas most of the time we're constantly thinking, when we're eating, our brain is 1,000 miles away. We're never really present to the moment.
Exactly.
And this is not a way to live. So once you start taking those little 30 seconds is a lot to somebody who just never stops. You're constantly on the move, not even physically, but mentally.
Yes.
So when you take that time to just sit there and say, you know what, no problem is bigger than I am. So why don't I just rest and I am consciously? Let me do this deliberately for 30 seconds. It can literally change your whole life right there.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, Marquise, indeed. That I love the fact that you said that you reminded us that as people we think so much. And we think so much that we don't know we're thinking. And we think so much that we don't know what we're thinking. We don't even know the directives we're giving our bodies. So I'm glad you said that. They tell you what, 70,000 thoughts in a day minimum? So imagine now if you are the one giving the directive of what to think. Now you're not just think about how much energy you are conserving when you reduce how scattered your mind is. I want you to picture that for a moment. Picture it. Cicely, I couldn't help myself. Sophia, for real though, picture it. If you reduced, if you went from 70,000 to 69,000, 68, and every day a little bit less and less, you will find that you become more energized. And the reason you become more energized is because now you're training yourself to have a singular focus. Like a laser, it is direct. And now you're not scattered hither and yon because that's what happens to us, but we don't see it. Because we don't see it because it is second nature. We think all the time because that is the nature of the brain to think. But you have to tell yourself what to think. That's the point. But we haven't gotten there yet because, well, we don't practice. And it's all right. You don't beat yourself up for not practicing or saying, oh my God, but I can't sit still for that long. Nobody's asking you to sit still for any length of time. You see, when you become intrigued with something and you're, yes, I'm going to come and help you. I hear you. That curiosity to to want to know how this is going to work will drive you. It will intrigue you enough that it won't feel like work. And you'll say to yourself, "Oh, I can do this? Yes, I can. Let me practice." And you'll stop saying, "Let me try." You'll say, "Let me practice." And when you practice, you will find that your success is great. You'll find it. Yeah.
But you know what? This is we must not forget that this is about bringing the mind into submission because right now most people are submitting to their body. So we have to reverse engineer that. And what I mean by that is, if every time you think a negative thought, you flip it, look inside of it, and transmute it, and say, okay, you want me to think that I'm nervous? Well, I'm gonna say I'm excited. So every time that happens, if you do that 70,000 times a day, your mind and body will go into submission because it's like, whoa, I'm tired of this fight. But until you build up the power and the fortitude to do that, you're gonna be submitting to your body, and instead of you being the master, your body will be the master.
Well, isn't that a bang on statement? Because when you think about it, the body makes a very poor master because it is undisciplined. It says, "Oh, look, chocolate. Oh, look, a swing. Oh, squirrel." That's what the body is. It just goes everywhere because it wants to feel. It's curious, you know. But if you discipline it, when I tell you, think about the amount of energy you will conserve. And I love that Marquise said, transmute. That's why I use very specific words, right? He said it. You look at the thing and you say, is that what I want? No, but this is. And so you change it, just like he said. You instead of being nervous, no, I'm excited. But because now you will physically feel the shift. You'll physically feel it in your body. And as soon as you physically feel it, you have just done what? Mental transmutation. You have taken something destructive. The energy is sitting there and it must be used. And instead of just having it be there to disrupt, you've now focused it and put it in the direction that is of most benefit to you. So you mentally transmuted it so that the body can fall into submission. Man, it's not even, I don't even want to use the word fall. I want to say, it submits to your will. Oh, yes, it does. It submits to you. Because that's the word we like to use a lot, don't we? Oh, yes. We love to use that word a lot. You got to submit to me. I'm like, dude, you can't even get your body to submit to yourself. And you want somebody else to submit to you? But that's another day. So that's why when you sit, just simply sit and breathe and hush. When you sit and do that, let me tell you something. I'm curious. Somebody just reminded me, hey, Diamond. She says, I'm so happy to hear you speaking about this beautiful practice. It works. You taught this to me a few years ago. And she's still doing it. You see that? So when I tell you, right, that you got to practice, I'm not telling you have to practice because I want you to. I'm telling you because your life will transform before your eyes. And then you'll wonder, wait, am I the same person? I used to be so. And then you'll say this. Well, I remember when I was. See, all you have to do is be curious enough, like a child, right? What does this do? What does that do? And you test it. And the very curiosity will inspire you to stay faithful to the practice. You see, it is built in that we are faithful. It is built in that we are consistent. And oh, yes, it is built in that we are persistent. Why would you persist? Because you want to know if what I'm saying is true. You want to know if can I really change? That's what you want to know. So you will persist. So when you sit there and your mind is like, or your body says to you, no, I don't feel like it. You'll soothe it and you'll say, I know you might not feel like it, but let's practice it anyway. Let's practice it for 2 minutes and see how good you'll feel. I promise you're going to feel good. And you will take yourself from a place of anxiety to a place of calm. And you'll be telling me, oh my God, I didn't know I could do it. And I will sit there and say, you didn't? But I did because I know the way of the law. Right? So be aroused enough, be turned on enough to sit there and just allow yourself. Just allow yourself to feel. Oh, indeed. You'll feel it for real. But I'm waiting for you to come back and tell me what you felt. Aw. Yes, that's what I'm waiting for. And when you see it, when you experience it, you think you'll be able to keep it to yourself? Nah, you'll be out there, you'll be out in the world making disciples of all men. That's what you'll be doing. Because you'll be like the woman at the well, come see a man who told me everything I've done. Because you'll be like, wait, all I did was help myself be still? And I discovered so much about myself? Yes. Why do you think the scripture tells you to meditate? on these words because it knows the significance, right? So this morning, practice make the time today. As the Merovingian says, how can we ever have time if we don't make time? Right? Make the time for it. We make time for everything else. We make time to get our hair done. We make time to go to the barber. We make time to go to the store. Make time to sit down and hush, as they say in the South. Whoo, poor child. What is what did Dula say last night? Ooh, child, heavy is the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, she says. You just gotta love Dula. But that's the encouragement for us this morning. Try it. Try it for yourself. I can only tell you how sweet a plum is. But you have to be curious enough to want to bite it, to taste it for yourself. So you can say, girl, you are right. This is sweet. Oh, taste and see that the law is good. Let us take a brief moment, shall we, to welcome everyone into the space. Hey, C Staff, Tiffany and Javion. Hey, Love Troll. I see you all here on Twitter. Oh, how good it is to see you. Mm-hmm. Who's here? On Facebook and YouTube, Indy, and hey, comrade, you in two places. Sugar Visions, so are you. Diamond Slaughter, my beautiful darling, it's good to see you. It's been a while. Double A, I see you. Shea Butter, I see you. A Not, I see you. And for the others who've not made themselves known in the chat, I see you. Let me call some names. Agnieszka, mm, the better man. Synovia, Empress Ella. I could go on. Shame free, right? I see you. And Jeff, I see you too. Fanbase who's here. Stephanie is here. Flo smiles. Comrade. Hey Tim. Joaquin is here. What a powerful name. My Melon, KZ, Miss McQueen, Marquise, Oracle Treehouse. And I know, as I say, Miss Zilla always takes her baby girl to school. Yes. Thank you all for being here this lovely morning. And I trust that you will practice, test it out, and see it for yourself. See it in action for yourself. You get to walk on the water. Yeah, you do. I see you, sweetness. Sorry. I turned the light on so I could help her. Now I'm just looking at her. She's just so sweet sitting there. Oh yeah, she knows what's coming. The harness. I digress. But take your time and practice. Don't fret if you think, oh my God, I'm not getting it. I'm not doing it right. What is right? What is wrong? Don't fret about what's right and what's wrong for how you're practicing. Just practice. Just practice. And everything, and like I gave you the clue, I told you, you will go from trying to figure out when the timer will go off, you will go from there. Because that's your cue that you're moving from the outside to the inside. And it happens like that. So once you go past is the timer done yet? Is the timer done yet? Once you go past there and you get inside, and you're like, ooh, this feels nice. And the timer goes off and you're like, already? Right? You're actually training your body to count. If you give it 5 minutes, and you'll find that you won't have to use that timer anymore because you'll know exactly when 5 minutes is. Why? The body remembers. So that when you say, okay, let's sit for 5 minutes, your body will perk you up just before 5 minutes is over. By like 30 seconds, it'll do it for you. Mm-hmm. And you'll be like, oh my God, what a coincidence. How did it know? Because it does. You're training it. So you'll see it for yourself. And I eagerly await to hear your experiences. And I know you'll be excited because you're like, oh my God, I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. Oh, yeah, indeed. And don't be scared. When
Can
you...
I share my experience?
Yes. Yes, that's Delight.
No, this is Flora.
Flo. There you go. Now I can see you. Go ahead, sweet girl. Go ahead.
When I first started, it was very hard to like just sit still and shut out all the noise. But I tried this app called Palmero, and it had the nice bird sounds and stuff to it. And so I tried. I did the 25 minutes first, and I did it while I was reading. And then after a while, maybe a couple of months, it got easier and easier. And now I can sit down and direct my brain to go anywhere I want it to go.
See, you heard it from someone who is doing it. See what she said to you? It got easier, and now she can just sit there and do it. So you see here, and I'm glad you said it, Flo Smiles. I'm glad you said you like the bird sounds. You see how everybody has their way? You see that? She likes the bird sounds. So then,
me personally,
yeah, go ahead.
Me personally, I love the waves.
Ah,
The rain. There's an app that I listen to called Expand. They do binaural beats and things of that nature, and you can put the binaural beats. Be quiet, Seven. Over top, or I don't know how they do it, over top or intertwined with the sound of the rain or the sound of the waves or whatnot. But like she said, you got to find what works for you, and it does get easier because I do 10 minutes. 10 minutes go by like that for me because I'll be that much into it. So yeah, she's right.
well, look at that. You see, it helps when you know what you like and who you are, because Oracle Treehouse likes the waves. See? So, what do you like? Do you like to hear chirping? Do what? What will help you? Then you do it, and you make things easier on yourself, right? Because what works for me may not work for you, right? So that's why when you find what helps you, do it. Because then you're not fighting, right? But you got to know you. What do you like? Some people like a particular smell. But if you realize that you've engaged your senses, haven't you? Indeed, you have. So that now, if you say, remember the technique from Neville Goddard when he says, you catch a mood, well, then you'll realize, oh, if I play this sound, it always puts me in this kind of a mood. And what do? You play that sound and you catch the mood so you can be deliberate in your manifestation. You see what it comes down to now? Doing what you enjoy that helps you, the better man, hey. But I trust today, just by hearing these young ladies talk about how it works for them, because it was three of them. Diamond said it, Flo Smiles, and Oracle said it. Right? Because it that's why I love it when you guys share the things that are on point for you, because it shows everybody else who's in the space that, hey, this thing is real. Well, yeah, I'm gonna try it for myself now. Then it works for them, and they incorporated who they were in the mix. Well, I'm gonna do it. That right there is what helps us all. We bear one another's burdens, right? We help each other out. Many hands make light work. So,
Angela.
yes, go ahead, sweetie.
I just wanted to throw out When it comes to meditation, she's so on point when she says, when Angela says, find what works for you. Yes, some people can't sit, but there's a such thing as walking meditation. They say people get into meditation when they go running or go walking. That is a form of meditation. But find what gets you in that space that Angela is talking about. It may not be sitting. It could be washing the dishes. I've heard washing the dishes is a form of meditation.
Yep.
I understand it because I like the soapy water and the warm of the subs the whatnot. I didn't know it was like a form of meditation, but I like that. But find what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, Oracle. Exactly. And that's the encouragement. Always to know the self, what you like. That's what you do. And sooner or later you'll find that you'll do it. You'll do it and it will be your second nature. Because you taught yourself to do it. That's why it's second. You taught yourself. But I am. Ooh, how beautiful. Right? Let me get the bowl for us. Let me get the bowl. Oh, she fell asleep. Good. Let me turn that bright light off. Poor thing. Let me get the bowl. Listen, nothing will help you. I've found that just being in the same space as her. Yes, I'm talking about the chicken. Being in the same space as her and just watching her. And she was just in my lap yesterday. She just flew into my lap from where she was just so she could be with me. And I'm like, oh, you're so sweet. And she fell asleep. And I just sat there and I stroked her feathers. And then my mind was gone. It was so peaceful. It was so quiet. Just absolutely still. That was my meditation. And I was like, well, wait, what? Well, how, what happened? What time is it? Like just that peacefulness and calm and serenity. It was really nice. So yes, that's my emotional support chicken, allegedly. So she helps in more ways than one. So let's play the bowl. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. See staff, love troll. Much love to you all. And I know the replay gang. Lilith. I see you. Thank you for being here on Twitter. It is always good to see you. Always. Much love to you all. Twitter is closed. Fanbase. Okay, wait. I'm not there yet. I'm ahead of myself. The Better Man, Comrade, Sugar Visions, Diamond, Double A, Shea Butter, A Not. I see you. And for those of you who have opened up Fanbase, right? You've downloaded that app and you're now part of it and you've subscribed to me over there. Today we have at noon, 12 p.m. Eastern, we have group coaching. So watch for that notification because I know that's new for you guys. So watch for that notification so that you can be part of it because I am going to message you because you're part of that. Okay? So, YouTube and Facebook, awesome to see you. Awesome. Much love to y'all, Facebook and YouTube. Peace.